Oh, well, this one should be easy.
Check the clock. It's good morning, Your Honor. We're still in the morning.
Yes, we got.
I believe that Ms. Bauer and I have reached an agreement. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
You reached an agreement?
Yes, isn't that amazing?
You too? Shocked I am. But go ahead, let's see. What are we gonna do?
Well, the escrow was not paid, but that's because they claim there's no money, all right? There's a couple things that are preliminary to this. There's an unregistered vehicle on the property that's being ticketed by the city. My client paid the $50 ticket. It comes on a weekly basis now, and they have agreed to move the vehicle into the garage, all right? So that it's their vehicle.
Okay.
And the $50, and I'm stating the $50 fine that my client paid would be deducted from the security deposit.
Okay. I got you.
Okay.
Okay.
I wanted to take care of those preliminary ones.
So they're gonna move the car.
By the end of the week.
$50 that he paid, it's gonna come out of the security.
That's correct. That's reach that.
So we're done?
No.
Oh, sure.
The
You
tenant,
guys had resolved it. Okay,
no,
go ahead.
the tenant, will move out hopefully by the end of February, but it might take till the middle of March, and we understand that. Allegedly, Mishta will not pay for March, and we will see where that comes. But meanwhile, according to
So
Ms.
the
Bauer,
defendant's moving, she's gonna try to get out by February 29th, but if not, it's gonna be March 15th or mid.
Yeah, and if I can just fill the court in on why that's the timing. I've been asking for a move packet for Miss Green since December, very diligently. We didn't get it till last Thursday. So she already has contacted several landlords and connected with a program to help her locate a new house. So she's gonna move the process along as quickly as possible. The problem is gonna be CMA doing their part quickly. So that's why we're saying we'll try, but
Okay,
but they also recalculated her rent back to her portion is 0 for January and February. That's why she didn't pay the escrow order, because she doesn't have any income, and Mishta's going to cover those months at 100%.
January and February.
in November, I was about to get to it, but you interrupted.
Well,
Right.
she answered my question. She didn't
Yeah.
interrupt.
Okay, all right.
That's- That's how Barbara. The whole thing. So she tries to be really like Mr. Nice Guy.
Holistic.
Yes. Okay. So I got that part. What's the next part?
November and December, according to Ms. Bauer, will be paid by the rental assistance Brighter Way.
Okay, so
Your Honor,
this is CMA we're dealing with, right? That,
we're dealing with CMA. Ms. Green has been connected with a program called Brighter Way.
okay,
She got a verbal confirmation yesterday that they would pay November, what she owes for November and December. I called this morning. I wasn't able to speak with the person that she's working with directly. I spoke to someone else in the program who said, well, if that's what that person said, then that's what's going to happen. But she also has a Hawk appointment on February 29th. But as far as I know, as we sit here today, she's going to get rental assistance through this program for November and December.
okay.
It's approximately.
So now this is what is about approximately what?
She owes approximately $1,500 for November and December combined.
So is that, so that's her portion
Yes.
of what wasn't paid. Did plaintiff got the Section 8 portion for November, December?
That is correct.
Okay, so it's that other part.
Yes.
Okay, and then, so that's for November, December, about $1,500. Then for January and February, she's at 0, and Section 8 should be paying that entire amount to the landlord.
Yeah, or whatever her portion was.
Okay.
Because I think the landlord's already received his
Oh, you're right. He would have already received that portion of Section 8. They should be then paying what her portion would be for January. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey,
That makes sense.
looking at the ledger, Your Honor, as of December 31st, I'm trying to do a little backward on this one. There's the court costs, which we can, and we take out the late fees, there's a water bill, but as of December 1st, after the deposit,
December 1st or January 1st?
well, let's go with trying to get through where the rent that was due for November and December. You said 1,500, but it's more likely to be closer to 2,100.
To 2,100?
But we'll provide you a copy of the ledger again, and you will be able to see this.
Okay.
Well,
They only paid $704 in December. They paid more in November, but not.
Okay, folks, I'm going to just stop you here because I thought you guys said you agreed on something, but I'm not hearing really firm numbers of what you've agreed on. Because if
right away,
it sounds to me like if they figured it was around $1,500 based on the conversation, whatever, and they paid the $1,500, this case still doesn't end.
well, there is another piece to it. Ms. Green.
Of course there is.
There's that water program that I've brought up in other cases. Once the next water bill hits the account, Ms. Green is going to apply to that program to have the water bill paid in full.
Got it.
So that was what we discussed before we came on the record, all of those pieces.
Yes, I haven't gotten it.
So basically, you have the move out date, you have payment for basically a period from November through February, right?
From a couple of different sources.
Right, wherever it's coming from, it's gonna, okay. All right,
And the water bill, and the water bills also, that's a third program.
correct, as I understand that, but the water bill, she's gonna need to get a water bill to get it done.
She has the water
We could
bills.
submit the current water bill, but then they would cover more.
They will cover more,
So,
right,
yeah.
that's what I,
We have agreed that when the next water bill comes, which is probably in a week's time, that we will send it
Okay.
directly to Ms. Bauer so that she can apply. And any money after that bill, residual, because she's still on the property, would be deducted from the security deposit.
Better.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Did? Hang on. Yeah, we gotta figure that out. I just gave myself a thumbs up. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
That covered, I think it
Yeah,
covers
that's the
everything.
entirety of the agreement.
That's the entirety of it.
I think,
Okay,
yeah.
that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
So in terms of how's this gonna be drawn up? I mean, how are you gonna memorialize this for the court's perspective?
Are you going to prepare an order?
I can prepare an order, send it to you before we send it to the court.
That sounds good.
Okay, so are you gonna do it in the form of a conditional order of dismissal, or are you gonna do it just an order and want me to set another date?
I'll do it as an order to set another date because these are all promises that they'll be made, and I'm not willing, my experience with conditional orders is it's a more elaborate process if they're not followed. Get back into court.
And I've done my best to verify, but
Well, no, and I know you have. I think both parties are acting in good faith. It's just an issue of you're also relying upon other people to do things. And some of that can change.
yeah, I think if we came back, I would have updates on everything and we might even either have, a move out date or a much better idea of when it's going to happen.
All right, so why don't I do this? You said March isn't going to be paid.
I've seen paperwork from MISHDA/CMA saying that that the March payment will not be made. And so I'm assuming that that is correct. That's why we offered for any prorated March rent to come out of the security deposit.
Can I ask a question? Why are they saying it won't be paid?
I believe it's because there were repairs that need to be made to the property. And they weren't made by the deadline or something like that. Now here is another piece. We did agree that if Mishta does pay March, that Ms. Green would be refunded any excess prorated rent so that she could pay the balance of the month in her new unit. So we should
Agreed.
probably add that to the
Whoa,
order.
yeah, okay, here's gonna be the problem. I don't know that. You better check whether you can do that. And I only say that because she's not paying it.
My
So-
client would refund directly to her.
Correct, but I don't know. Far be it from me to, I mean, I get what you're trying to do, but I don't know that he can refund Section 8 monies to the tenant.
Gotcha. See, that was my concern is that, in dealing with other agencies, they won't make a rent payment to two different entities within the same month. They won't prorate themselves.
Correct.
So that was my concern
Right.
about having.
I don't want him in trouble because he's gotten the payment. She's not there. He's giving it to her to go to someplace else. And I don't want her in trouble for that.
Cleaner if she pays the whatever portion of March out of her security deposit. And we just make sure that the HAP payment doesn't pay for March, because then it'll be available to her for her
other unit.
Yes.
Okay.
The problem, Your Honor, is by the time we've taken everything out of the security deposit, there's no security deposit left for any of the damages.
Well, that's what we agreed to.
No,
I
you proposed. There's a difference between.
Well,
See, this
If
is,
you-
I knew this was gonna happen. They stayed up there any longer, it was gonna fall apart. I'm not saying who I blame it on, pardon. No, I'm just. Okay. Maybe. I still have $450 in escrow.
Escrow was paid? Oh,
Oh,
well,
I wasn't, okay.
well then,
You paid 450 into escrow. She did,
For best.
yeah. So there are some funds there.
if I'd known that, that's fine.
Had you known what?
That she'd paid. We were told that no money had been paid.
If she had known that, she would be trying to take it now, not giving it to you now. I know you. I've known you way too long. I know it would have happened. So here's what I'm going to do. I have that sitting here so that we don't have to go through this refund thing to anything that might look even remotely get either of the plaintiff or the defendant in trouble. I've got this here. If there's a shortfall someplace or something doesn't work, we'll use this to try to do that. That sound good?
That sounds great, Your Honor.
And so I'll prepare an order with all of the above, run it by you first before we and make any modifications. And then what would be the next quote court date?
I would set it for March 5th. Don't want to get too far into March, but by that time she may know.
And she might
She'll
have
have
moved
had
out.
her hawk appointment. So we'll
And she
know.
might have moved out by then.
And she might be out by then. So we'll know at that point. So March 5th, 2024, 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're welcome. How come you don't bring anything easy? No, I'm just.
I would love to get some easy.
In this surprisingly productive housing court session, Judge Simpson is genuinely shocked when both attorneys announce they have reached an agreement before even stepping up to the podium, a rare and welcome development that he greets with barely concealed delight. The case involves tenant Miss Green, who has been struggling to pay rent due to having zero income, relying entirely on Section 8 housing assistance through CMA and various rental assistance programs to cover her portion of the rent. The agreement the parties worked out covers multiple moving parts: an unregistered vehicle on the property that has been receiving $50 weekly tickets will be moved into the garage immediately with the ticket cost deducted from the security deposit. A rental assistance program called Brighter Way has verbally confirmed they will cover the approximately $1,500 to $2,100 owed for November and December. January and February rent is covered entirely by Section 8, since Miss Green's portion calculates to zero, and the water bill will be handled through a separate assistance program once the next bill arrives. The move-out timeline is set for February 29th if possible, but potentially extending to mid-March 15th, with any prorated March rent coming out of the security deposit. Just as everything seems neatly wrapped up, the conversation starts unraveling when the question of March rent gets complicated by Section 8 payment rules that prevent rent being paid to two different housing entities in the same month, the security deposit being nearly depleted by all the agreed deductions, and a surprise revelation that Miss Green had actually paid $450 into court escrow, something the landlord's attorney had not known and immediately wanted to reclaim, prompting the judge to dryly note he knows her far too well and is certain she would have tried to take it. Judge Simpson solves the whole tangled mess by simply keeping the $450 escrow funds in the court's hands as a safety net to cover any shortfall that might arise from the various moving parts of the agreement, setting a follow-up date of March 5th to check on the move-out status and confirm all the payments came through as promised, closing with a heartfelt plea for someone to please bring him an easy case someday.